question. If in 1992 and 93 these revenue limits were set, isn't it pretty antiquated? We're in now 2011. Is anything being done at the state level to change things? And the other part of the question would be, because we're a low spending district, we're being penalized for it?
Well, the question was about, is our funding system antiquated because it was started in 92, 93, and is anything being done about it? There's talk at the state level. The Department of Public Instruction has put out what is a new funding formula to fund schools. And we'll go back. But the formula that they are putting out does not address revenue limits at all. So that's the way it is. A funding formula that was put forward by the state would have to be at best neutral to the highest spending districts, because if they put out something where there are winners and there are losers, the politicians won't go for it, because they can't vote for something that's going to lose their area anyway. And that's one of the reasons that there's not a huge momentum to shift things, because there are a fair number of winners and losers with just about any type of formula that's put out there. By the way, Mike Marker, our business manager, has noted a few interesting things on your tax statement. If you take a look at your tax statement, you'll see that we report that you have a 8.9 mill rate. That's what we have to report. But subtracted from that mill rate, and it's already taken out when you look at your tax thing, is your school tax levy credit. Now, Spooner is a real high per pupil value district. Our land value or property value per pupil is considered to be high, particularly compared with other districts in the state. This area has a lot of high land value districts. Spooner is, Webster is, Birchwood's high property value district, Hayward's a high property value district, and there are some areas out east with lots of lakes that are high property value per pupil districts also. Those are the ones that get low state aid. But those are also the ones that tend to get the higher tax levy credit. An accurate statement. So while it doesn't offset, it helps a little bit. There's a plan that the state superintendent has come out with for funding education in the state that guarantees a state aid level of $3,000 per pupil. Right now, Mike, our state aid level would be about $920 per pupil.
That's $1,200.
Oh, is it $1,200 per pupil? Okay. So that would be great, except that would erase the tax levy credit. So, but it would also more accurately show you what your mill rate is, because the mill rate you're paying is not the 8.9 that we report. The mill rate's actually
7.5, 7.6.
about 7.5 or 7.6, because the tax levy credit decreases the school's tax rate. Just interesting. It's not crucial. It's interesting. Yes, sir.
Isn't it a little bit misleading to talk about comparing districts by mill rate? Because the property value causes the mill rate to be lower, or the property value causes the mill rate to be higher. And shouldn't you really be talking about how many dollars, are spent out of your tax money for school tax, if you're going to compare them fairly?
Not quite sure that I got it 100%. I mean, you explained it well, but I'm not sure that it's processed. Can you do that one more time?
I'm just saying, the Spooner School District has fairly high values for property,
Right.
which makes our mill rate tend to be a little lower than
Right.
some other districts.
Yeah, and that's the way it is.
So a district that has a higher mill rate than we do doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be paying higher taxes than we are.
They're paying higher taxes per $100,000, but their valuations may be lower.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what might be valued as a $100,000 house in Spooner may be a $70,000 house in that other district? Is that what,
My
kind
point
of what
is,
you're
my
saying?
point is, yeah, if you look at the dollar amount that people pay, the mill rate is deceiving because the mill rate is based on the value of the property in the district. And to talk about us being lower in mill rate than another district is kind of deceiving because that doesn't mean we're paying less taxes than other people are.
It means if you have a $100,000 house in Spooner, and you're paying your 8.9 mils, if you have a $100,000 house in Shell Lake, you'll be paying 11 mils. So you will be paying more taxes in Shell Lake than in Spooner.
Well, yeah, but your house would be valued differently in Spooner than it would be in Shelley.
And yeah, you're
That's
absolutely
my
correct.
point.
And those valuations are set, believe it or not, in Madison. The value of our county is not locally determined.
So to make a fair analogy, you should really talk about how many dollars goes to school tax from your property tax, rather than the mill rate.
Right, and that's where that state aid portion comes in. That's why since we're a low-aided school district, like I said, about 90% of our cost per pupil is funded locally. You're right. Yes, sir.
The other side of that coin is we as a community want to support our kids' education. How many students does the school district educate, and what's the cost per student to educate? I know it's just a statistical average. And how much of the $2,350,000 a year is that per student?
Mike, do you want to take that one?
Cost per student is about 10,000 we spend. The overall cost.
Overall cost per student is approximately $10,000.
We're just under the state average. I know that.
Which is just under the state average, and if you take $2.35 million divided by 1,350 students, 1,740 per pupil. So that's not what we're spending more than this year. We'd be spending $750,000 more than this year, not $2.35 million more than this year. Because we've still got that $1.6 million that we're spending this year per pupil from the previous referendum. So the increase, Mike, would be $555. The increase would be $555 per pupil.
That's per year, Don?
Per year.
But if the referendum fails,
Elementary through.
That's my
secondary.
concern.
Yes.
but if the referendum fails, each student broadly on an average would have detractions from their whole sum of education, including this auditorium, of approximately $1,700 per student. But it's not equal.
From this year's level, the detraction would be about 1,100. How much? 1,185 per pupil.
But if the referendum fails, then you don't have the other original
That's- yeah.
$1,600,000 a year.
Right, that's that detraction. That's the 1,185.
So if the referendum fails, you lose not just the 750,000 increase, the school district will actually lose 2.35 million.
No.
Or the 1.6 that they
Right,
currently have.
exactly.
So they will not only not have the increase, but they will also lose 1.6 million.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's how much we lose in a revenue limit.